Hey, this is Pastor Randy. I'd like to welcome you to Drive-By Teaching. Well, today I want to talk about a correspondence that I received from a Professor Fastberg from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Now, before that, I want to give you a little bit of history as to what led up to this correspondence. Where I sent several emails, and this is really focused, by the way, on the name Yehovah and whether or not this has any historical and scholarly evidence and support. So, to confirm this, I sent about 20 emails out to different professors from Harvard and also from Stanford and also from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Now, every professor I sent this to had a background either in linguistics or Hebrew studies. Now, I received one response from Stanford. I also received 3 responses from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. What was really amazing, though, is that 2 of the professors who responded from the Hebrew University pointed me to a Professor Stephen Fastberg, and Fastberg himself also responded. Now, I want to give you a sense of who this man is Professor Fastberg. So let me give you some of his credentials. Number one, he received his PhD from Harvard. He's one of the leading professors in the Hebrew at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem within the Hebrew language department. He's also a member of the Academy of the Hebrew Language, Jerusalem. He's an associate editor for the Historical Dictionary of the Hebrew Language Project. He's an associate editor for the Encyclopedia of Hebrew Language and Linguistics. He was the chair of the Department of Hebrew Language between 1998 and 2001, and also between 2006 and 2009. Where he was also the director of the Orion Center for the Study of the Dead Sea Scrolls and associate literature between 2006 and 2009. Now, according to Wikipedia, I want to give you a sense of the Orion Center because it's a big deal. The Orion Center was established in 1995 as part of the Institute for the Jewish Studies at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Its overarching aim is to stimulate all aspects of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Now, in addition to Professor Fastberg's credentials, he's also contributed many sources. I want to give you just a few. You go online, by the way, you can look at these sources, look at his profile in the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. You're going to be blown away at this man's profile and this man's credentials. But let me give you just, again, a feel of who this man is. So he's contributed, for instance, to the Journal of Semitic Studies supplement, the Jewish Study Bible, the Encyclopedia Judaica, the Judaica, think about that, the Judaica, major source within the Jewish world. The New Interpreter's Dictionary of the Bible, the Encyclopedia of Hebrew Language and Linguistics. So this man's credentials, again, are just spectacular. They're remarkable. So this is a person we should really pay attention to. So I want to read now my message to him and along with many other professors. But again, he was really the only one who responded to give a full description to my inquiry. So here's what I said. I am in the process of beginning of researching the Hebrew Tetragrammaton and have noticed some using the form Yehovah. Can you confirm whether Yehovah is proper or correct based on Hebrew letters Yod He Waw He or YHWH? Also, can you confirm the origins of the Hebrew letter Vav and the V sound within the Hebrew language? Is this letter and sound found in ancient Hebrew or later, and does it predate the Hebrew Wow? Several sources state that the V sound was influenced from the Germanic language and was not present in Biblical Hebrew, Koine Greek, or Phoenician. Does scholarship confirm this conclusion? So here's his response, and I want you to listen. Again, keep in mind this man's credentials, who he is, what he's done, what he's accomplished. So here's his response. He says, the pronunciation you mentioned is a mistake. So number one, he says here right off the bat that the term Yehovah is a mistake. He says a Hebrew consonantal text is YHWH, and no one really knows how that was pronounced in Old Testament times. At a later date, the latter half of the 2nd millennium CE, Masoretes added vowel signs to the consonantal text. Whenever the Tetragrammaton was written, they added the vowel signs of the word Adonai, which means my Lord. There was a taboo on pronouncing the divine name, and one was supposed to read the word Adonai, my Lord. Much later, now pay attention to this, this is such an important part of his correspondence. This is much later, some started reading the vowel signs together with YHWH and came up with the nonsensical word Jehovah, and we could easily say Yehovah there. Goes on to say there is no doubt that the original sound was W and not a V. Sometime during the history of the Roman or the history of the Hebrew language, there was a shift from W to V in pronunciation, probably already during the Messianic period. While he doesn't support Professor Fastberg here, the name Yahweh, as we believe here, and as most scholars do confirm, notice what he says about this word Yehovah. He confirms that it was a mistake. He says here that this word is nonsensical. What is the meaning of nonsensical? The meaning of nonsensical is irrational. It doesn't make sense based on rational. When we look at the evidence, there's nothing to confirm this from a scholarship standpoint. And do your own research, by the way. You can see this beyond Professor Fastberg and what he says. We also confirms here, and I really found this remarkable, he confirms here that the Jews never intended the vowel points from Adonai to be read with the letters Yod, He, Waw, He, or the YHWH. In other words, again, he says that they were to read Adonai, not this Yehovah. They added these vowel points so they would not read the sacred name or the divine name, as he explains here. We're also confirms here that the W predates the V within the Hebrew language. And why that's important, by the way, is it shows and it proves that Yehovah is an impossibility based on biblical Hebrew. So next time someone tells you that the name is Yehovah, I would encourage you to think about what you've learned here from Professor Fastberg. Again, consider who this man is. Consider his credentials. Consider this man received his PhD from Harvard. Consider that out of all the professors I communicated with, that he was the only one with the knowledge to respond to my inquiry. Well, I thank you for joining me today for this drive-by teaching, and would pray that you would join me for every program. May Yahweh bless you.
This has been Drive-By Teaching with Pastor Randy. Join the conversation and leave us a like and comment below. Subscribe now for all our latest releases. For one of the most extensive religious websites ever, yrm.org. For all the ways to connect with us, see the description below. From all of us here at Drive-By Teaching, don't get stuck in the slow lane of tradition. Put the brakes on ignorance and put your understanding into overdrive.